Now, this illustration deals with low voltage suspended ceiling power distribution systems in accordance with Article 393, parts 1 through 3. Now, as you can see in the part 1, we would have the scope and the definitions, listing requirements there. The part 2 deals with uses permitted, where you could use it. Uses not permitted, where this system could not be used. The installation rules, the disconnecting requirements, the securing and supporting requirements, the conductors and enclosures, how they must be provided, the overcurrent and reverse polarity backfeed protection scheme, where splices are made, how are the connections to be made, and what is the grounding rules with the respective sections listed there. Now, part 3 is the construction specification of sizes and types of conductors. Now, for example, overseas at an Air Force base where I was doing some work in England, that's the type of system they had in their offices for their suspended ceilings. They would have what you see there. They would have an electrified grid portion, and they would connect into that grid with their fixtures and so forth. And it was low voltage. Best I remember is 24 volt was the voltage that they had there. In other words, it was 30 volts or less, it was 24. And I believe I'm correct if my memory serves me right. Now, we can have those same type of systems here. And if you're aware of overseas, they put me in a cottage close to the base, and all the receptacles were 240 volt, 50 hertz. So naturally, I had to have they brought me for my systems of 120 volt, they brought me a little transformer, and I'd plug it in, and then I'd connect to that, but the amount of power from that transformer was limited. Of course, you know your computer, you can connect it to 240, 208, or 120. Most all your computers will plug in that way, but you had to have an adapter to sit there to plug in too. So here in the United States now, this Article 393 recognizes a low voltage suspended ceiling power distribution system instead of a maybe 120 or 277 type lighting that would be put in there. It would be low voltage. And notice if you ever have to install one of these by the owner's specifications, be sure you review this article very carefully, or you'll probably have a number of turn downs before you get it right. It might not even be a bad thing to call the local inspector out, tell him what you're doing, go over it with him, and then there's no surprises when you make this installation. And it looks like you really know what you're doing with this type of system when it may be the first system you ever even install. So this illustration is simply illustrating the parts with the sections that deal with low voltage suspended ceiling power distribution systems.